Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to the third qualifying race of the season, Season 4 of the NCAA Duracell Cup Series. Getting ready to find out the 6 drivers that will transfer into the third race of the season here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Joshua Osborne lines up on the pole position for today's race alongside of D Poteet. Neither of these drivers are yet to make their season debut. They've got good starting track position here today in what's going to be a rather short race as well, only 27 laps in distance. So for guys that are starting mid-pack to the rear of the field, they're going to have to make their way up towards the front probably sooner rather than later. And of course here at Las Vegas as well, with the way that the front straightaway works, they are allowed to use that apron down the front straightaway to make a pass, but merging back up into traffic heading into turn 1 seems to always be a little bit of an issue, especially when they take it 3 wide, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Obviously with these drivers, they're basically trying to make it into the main show. I don't think they really care if they wreck the car in the attempt, because if they're outside of the top 6, or I should say outside the top 5, they've got a chance that more than likely they're not going to be making the start this week. Why I say the top 5 is because 6 drivers transfer, but C Dollerton in the field here today. Of course, last week's overall main event winner from Manassas, the former champion from Season 1, he still has 3 more championship provisionals at his disposal. And so Dollerton, if he fails to make it into the top 6 here today, then it would be the top 5 and Dollerton that would transfer into the main event here at Las Vegas. And of course, for C Dollerton, I mean, right now, having that win at Manassas, his goal now is to, make as many main event starts as he possibly can, because he'd love to get himself up there inside the top 30 in the point standings to be able to have that win count towards a playoff spot. That way, of course, we already talked about the fact, though, that if you're a non-charter driver, and you manage to make at least 7 starts, I think it is, during the course of the season. I think I said it was 10 starts. I'll have to look back and see what my rule book was. But there's a minimum number of starts if you make in the main event. I think it's 10. I'm pretty sure it's 10. If you make 10 main event starts, then if you have a win, that would count towards a playoff position. So Dollerton, we already know, is guaranteed for 5 starts this season. He's got to make his way, qualifying-wise, into 5 more for his Manassas win to count towards being into the playoffs for the first time since Season 1. But without further ado, let's go down to trackside, get those famous words in motorsports. You can look down in the description below for the starting lineup for today's race.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field's going to roll off, so 27 laps here today. I mentioned about Osborne and Poteet not yet making their first start. Also, W Goss, who's rolling off from the 3rd position. He is yet to make his first start of the season. And Z Stultz in the 44. Drivers behind them have actually made their first starts of the season. J Dearborn and Tristan Allen were both in last week's race at Manassas. N Amoedo is in the Daytona 500, as was Quentin Moore, and they make up row 4. 27 laps of racing as stated. Tomorrow's main event race is going to be 67 laps in total, so these drivers aren't even going to be running half the distance of tomorrow's main event. But we'll see if any of these guys maybe we'll be able to learn something here today that end up transferring into the main event. We saw that happen last week as go or go homer C Dollerton took the checkered flag at Manassas. Pace car is going to make the left-hand turn to pit road. We're getting ready to turn them loose. These drivers are going to be going pretty fast here today. We see sometimes upwards of 180, 185 miles per hour on the straightaways, so everything's going to be happening really quickly for these drivers. In this 27-lapper, as Joshua Osborne leads them down, the green flag is out. Let's roll at Las Vegas. Osborne clears for the early lead. Tristan Allen going to follow. Make that W Goss rather, going to follow in his tire tracks. Tries to clear Poteet for second. May actually look for the lead here into turns 3 and 4. Osborne left the door open, but W Goss could not stick his foot in. J Dearborn going to move into 3rd place here as Poteet stuck on that outside line, trying to find his way to the bottom. Battle will be side by side now for 2nd between Dearborn's Ford and Goss's Toyota. 185 there, top speed through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, about 188. These leaders hit. Going into turn 3. So when moves are made, they're made quickly, and there's not a whole lot of time for reaction by the driver that's having a move made on him. As N Amoedo moved up to second, but here comes RJ Bishop to the inside, looking for the second spot. Ford has always seemed to have good numbers here at the Duracell Cup Series at Las Vegas. And RJ Bishop would love to be able to make it 4 young motorsports drivers taking the green flag in tomorrow night's main event, as M Roode moves his Toyota now up into second place. But here comes Pedro Lucas in the 41. Lucas made the main event last week at Manassas, looking for his second career main event start. A Sampsell there in the 13. He's still looking for his first start of the season. Right behind him, Harrison Ponder, who of course started up front in the Daytona 500 a couple of weeks ago. Right now, the battle's been for second place. Joshua Osborne rather. He has been able to check out for the moment. And they're 3 wide behind him now with Ponder, Sampsell, and Pedro Lucas. Lucas still stuck up on the top side as M Roode's not going to let him in. That's D Voyles down the bottom of that 3-wide situation. And now C Dollerton will follow in the tire tracks of the 63. And this 3-wide battling's going on right around that transfer spot of 6th place. Dollerton just took 6th from A Sampsell there, and now they're 3 wide for 7th. Seth Cole, M Roode, and Sampsell up on the top side. How about some S Ozkan sneaking his way up here into the top 3, now looking for second on Harrison Ponder. Ozkan made his debut last week at Manassas, as did D Voyles back there in the 63, now looking for 3rd place. Seth Cole in the 25, Dawson Wise in the 81. They're both looking to make their season debuts, as we've got a battle for the lead. Joshua Osborne enjoyed the first 6 laps out in front. Now Samet Ozkan says, it's my turn to take the race lead, and that Subway Toyota looks strong. He's the only one that's been able to get to the back bumper of that Mopar Dodge, and he will take the lead out of turn 4. D Voyles, now that the door has been opened, he'll go to the inside of Joshua Osborne, and just like that, Osborne, who was leading the early stages of this race, is going to find himself fading towards the back as he's been put to the top side, 3 wide, as has Seth Cole in the Liberty University Chevrolet Camaro. Battle will be for second. A couple of teammates working on the inside there out of Mills Motorsports, L Chung and J Dearborn. Dawson Wise is caught in the middle, D Voyles up top, and these are some close 3 wide battling going on here. I'm getting that queasy feeling of maybe we might see our first caution here momentarily. And it may be this close to the front of the field. As Z Stultz, who started 4th, fell towards the back, has now worked his way up to the front, now running in the 3rd position as he'll get about a half car length advantage on L Chung. Now clears for that 3rd spot off of turn 4. N Amoedo now looking for 4th place. T Gehrdes and Tristan Allen there, the Dodge and the Toyota working their way to the front. There's A Xavier back there, that bright yellow Hertz number 24 out of Northeast Motorsports. First time we've seen him up inside the top 10 today. Battle for the lead is on again. This time, though, it's J Dearborn looking to the inside of Samet Ozkan. Did not have the momentum down the back straightaway. Couldn't even get to the inside left rear quarter panel of the Subway Toyota. Lost some momentum, too, and that brings N Amoedo up here into a battle for that 2nd spot. You can see just how important the draft is here. Saw Tristan Allen was about 3 car lengths back from N Amoedo there on the front straightaway coming out of turn 4. He was right up on the back bumper of the Pennzoil Ford by the time they entered turn 1. You wouldn't necessarily consider a 1.5-mile track to be so aerodynamically dependent with the draft, but based on the setup that we've got here and the physics that we run, it definitely is. As Amoedo, Tristan Allen going to work together to make their way by J Dearborn. Z Stultz switches from high to low to help that group as well. Another driver, first time we've seen him up inside the top 10, is that bright red number 46 of Dylan Schwallenberg out of DCW Racing. There he is. One of his DCW teammates made his debut last week, that being Tristan Allen, but Schwallenberg and Will Goss, who you see up there on the top side of that 3 wide there with Pedro Lucas and Schwallenberg, they are yet to make their debuts here in the main event races of a Duracell Cup Series event. And we are halfway home here in this non-charter race. So far, we've managed to remain green. The thing I'm now wondering is 27 laps. Can they make 27 laps on one tank of fuel? We've seen where these qualifying races, even, it's come down to pit stops. We'll see if that's going to be the case here today. Also, if they manage to stay green, it will give us a great idea for tomorrow's main event race of just how far these guys can go on a tank of fuel. So S Ozkan continues to lead. I want to drop back here to this 3 wide, though, because they are leaning on each other. Quentin Moore and Rob Evans were in the middle of all that. Now they've gotten themselves broken away. It's now Daniel Voyles, Will Goss, and Pedro Lucas in the 3 wide situation. There's Joshua Osborne, who led the first 6.5 laps of this race. He's now boxed in behind these guys, currently all the way back in the 14th position. So it shows you just how things change here. And there's some guys that have not even made their way up to the front. I'm not sure what they're waiting on. But Mike Wiley in the 93, Brad Stover in the 80, J Taurus in the 16. All running back here 24 through 26. They have not made even an attempt to go to the front of the field yet. Which makes me wonder if maybe they are planning to make the charge here in the second half of this race, or are they thinking what I was thinking with all those 3 wide situations, that they may have to do their best attempt at wreck avoidance. Things have now settled out double wide all the way through the field up to this point. There's Dollerton and the 83. Remember, he does have 3 more championship provisionals at his disposal, but he would like to be able to keep those in his hip pocket and qualify his way into these races just through racing in, as he's on the bottom trying to work his way up to the front. He's got N Amoedo with him. They're 3 wide ahead of him again now. That's out Arthur Xavier in the middle, getting pushed up the track, and there we go. D Poteet sideways in front of the field. He saves it with the help of the wall. Are we under caution? We may not be. I don't think we are. Yes, we are. Yes, caution is out. I'm amazed we only had a single car incident really there, with one car getting out of shape, that being Poteet. And guys, this is not smart. They're 3 wide up here waiting for the pace car. Rob Evans, S Ozkan, and Justin Dearborn. Dearborn actually led back at the start-finish line there when that caution came out, so he's actually your race leader. I'll now move around and take the lead here. Let's see if these drivers are going to pit first before we go back and take a look at the replay. No, nobody coming to pit road, and pits would have been open this time by. So apparently these drivers can make it at least 27 laps on one tank of fuel. But D Poteet, who started on the outside of the front row here for this qualifying race, a lot of rear-end damage to that car. Did a tremendous job, though, of keeping it straight. You can see the right side damage as well, as he had to kind of use the wall to keep him straight. L Chung, we know, got a little piece of the incident as well. And the 24 of Arthur Xavier, I think, also got some damage out of that. Don't know how that's going to affect them, as Las Vegas is one of those very aerodynamically dependent tracks. Caution's out, though, for the first time here today, and we're going to be getting a restart with less than 10 to go. Justin Dearborn shows the way. Let's go back and see what happened out of turn 4. I had mentioned the fact that in all the 3 wide situations they were leaning on each other. Well, they definitely were here. You can see all the way through 3 and 4. Arthur Xavier, L Chung, door to door, literally. And this may have been a byproduct of the fact that we had run about 17 laps on these tires, where L Chung couldn't get her car to turn. It just pushed up off the corner into Arthur Xavier. And D Poteet, who was unfortunately on the outside of that 3 wide situation, just nothing he could do. He was an innocent bystander. He was at the mercy of those cars to his inside. Seth Cole was right behind all that, did a great job of avoiding too, but it's like D Poteet's going to have to wait another week to make his debut back here in the Duracell Cup Series in a main event race, as he's got quite a bit of extensive damage there on that State Water Heaters Chevrolet. First caution of the day here at Las Vegas. Lights are out atop the pace car. We're going back green flag racing with 6 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Right now, the driver sitting in the transfer spots with Chris Dollerton back in the 15th position would be Justin Dearborn, S Ozkan, Rob Evans, Tristan Allen, and Joshua Osborne, the pole sitter for today's race. Right now, 2 drivers are up inside this top 5, looking to make their season debut in the main event. Rob Evans and Joshua Osborne, a couple of teammates out of Evan Gardner Motorsports. We'll see if they can keep these 6 laps clean and green, as after the incident we saw, nobody out of the race. D Poteet has continued on, still on the lead lap, but doubt he'll be able to work his way up into the top 5 here in the closing stages unless something drastic happens with all the damage he sustained, as the green flag is in the air. And we're racing, hopefully, to the checkers without seeing the yellow flag make another appearance. And it's going to be for third that the battle will start towards the front. Tristan Allen sticks Rob Evans to the top. Evans going to go the wrong way. S Ozkan further up, though. He's looking for the lead on J Dearborn. And they are 2 by 2, 2 rows deep. And then back there, a side-by-side battle around 6th, 7th place. These drivers right now jostling for spots into the main event. Here comes Will Goss with a big run. Help from Zachary Stultz. They're going to go for 2nd and 3rd on Joshua Osborne. Putting the 56 to the top side is S Ozkan, going to pull away. 3 wide for 2nd. Stultz looking. He's there. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. This caution fest the caution may not be done with us here today at Las Vegas. I shouldn't call it a caution fest. We've only had 1 caution up to this point. As now Zach Stultz moves up the track, that opens the door. Here comes Quentin Moore looking for 2nd place. This all going on behind the 70 right there. That's actually a couple of teammates out of Second Chance Motorsports, looking to be 1 and 2. Ozkan in the 70, Quentin Moore in the 66. 3 wide behind them, RJ Bishop. Contact! He puts Tristan Allen up into Will Goss and Joshua Osborne. They nearly wrecked in 3. They keep it straight, though. 3 laps to go here at the line. Right now, RJ Bishop is in the final transfer spot as they run. They're 3 wide, 2 rows deep behind him, though. Now settling it out to double wide, potentially if Will Goss is able to clear J Dearborn, he does. We're back to double wide, maybe 3 wide again, though. Here comes RJ Bishop. Big run to the inside. Evans put in the middle. Quentin Moore way up top side through 3 and 4. T Gehrdes right there in the 69 machine, trying to put all 3 of the Bulldog Motorsports cars into the field for the first time this season. Harrison Ponder there as well. Doesn't look like Chris Dollerton's going to get up here into a transfer spot, so right now these drivers, they're battling for spots in the top 5 to make it into the main event. Bishop's going to clear for 2nd, sets his sight at S Ozkan. Then they're double wide, about 6 rows deep behind them. 3rd place on back. Harrison Ponder looking to take the spot. As up at the front, S Ozkan, white flag in the air, 1 to go, but RJ Bishop is running him down. Might have a run on him down the back straightaway. We could have an exchange for the lead. A battle for the win down here in 3 and 4. Seth Cole in a transfer spot. Harrison Ponder, Dawson Wise, N Amoedo mixing it up for who's going to be the final ones to transfer in. As through 3 and 4, Bishop, about a half car length off the back bumper of S Ozkan, not going to be able to get there. S Ozkan's going to win the non-charter race here today at Las Vegas. Bishop transfers in 2nd, Seth Cole 3rd, 4th was Dawson Wise, and N Amoedo is going to transfer in by 7 100ths over Joshua Osborne for the final transfer spot into the field. Chris Dollerton back there will have to get into the event again through a championship provisional. That now leaves him with only 2 left, but 3 drivers will make their Duracell Cup Series debuts here this season in the main event. RJ Bishop, Seth Cole, and Dawson Wise. S Ozkan going to be making back-to-back starts in the Duracell Cup Series. And N Amoedo going to be in the Duracell Cup Series main event for the 2nd time in his career. His first one was back a couple of weeks ago in the Daytona 500. Standings are official, and there you see top 5 finishers transfer. Dollerton finished 18th, so he gets in through the provisional, which knocks Joshua Osborne out. He is the first one to miss, along with Harrison Ponder, L Chung, T Gehrdes, and A Sampsell. Everybody else on down, with the exception of Dollerton, going to have to wait until next week at Atlanta as well to qualify into the main event. But it will be Ozkan, Bishop, Cole, Wise, Amoedo, and Dollerton that transfer in here today. Tomorrow, it's the main event race, 67 laps here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Ford has always had good numbers here, but will a Chevy, Toyota, or Dodge be able to topple them here this season? We'll have to wait and find out. Thanks everyone for tuning in to today's qualifying race from Las Vegas. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure you guys like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We've shown you full feature results, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the main event race here, race number 3 of Season 4 of the Duracell Cup Series. Until then, I'm Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.